What if I told you the world map is lying to you? That some places have been deleted, redacted, or never shown at all? Zoom in on Google Earth and you'll find cities, highways, even rooftop details. But zoom in here and all you'll see is static, a blur, a void. Why are some locations too sensitive to show? What's being hidden? And who's hiding it? From secret military bases buried in deserts, to islands untouched by time, protected by law, or erased after disaster, there are coordinates you'll never find on any public map, not because they don't exist, but because someone doesn't want you to see them. Some are hidden to protect lives, others to hide truths. Area 51, blacked out for decades, a tiny island in India where outsiders are never seen again. A nuclear wasteland in Japan that quietly vanished from the map. A military base in the Indian Ocean so secret, even supply routes are censored. And then there are places so remote, so untouched, they don't show up at all. Hidden not by conspiracy, but by nature itself. Today we go beyond the map to find the coordinates erased from global view and ask why they've been hidden. From shadowy military zones to islands lost in time, these are the places you'll never find on Google Earth. Until now. Our first stop is in the Nevada desert, a place the government didn't admit existed for over 50 years. In the middle of Nevada's barren wasteland lies a place the U.S. government once denied even existed. For decades, Area 51 was a rumor, a whisper among conspiracy theorists, a myth tucked between sand dunes and silence. Try to view it on Google Earth, and you'll notice something strange. The base is visible, but its details, curiously vague. Structures lack sharpness, runways fade into nothing, and the surrounding terrain looks stitched together. Built in the 1950s during the Cold War, this facility was the birthplace of America's most secret aircraft, the U-2 spy plane, the SR-71 Blackbird, prototypes the public wouldn't know about for decades. But it's not just spy planes that give Area 51 its shadowy reputation. Over time, the base became ground zero for UFO lore. Sightings, cover-ups, even stories of alien bodies kept hidden underground. Despite modern technology, much of Area 51 remains off the digital map. You can't street view it. You can't fly a drone over it, and satellite companies are heavily restricted in what they're allowed to show. And perhaps that's the strangest part. It's not just the base that's obscured, it's everything around it. A place so secret it didn't officially exist until 2013. A name whispered across decades, and even today, nearly invisible to the world's eyes. This is just the beginning. High in the clouds of the eastern Himalayas, carved into the side of a sheer rock face, sits a place so hidden it feels like a dream. They call it the Tiger's Nest, but you won't see it from above. Not clearly, not even on most maps. This is Takshang Monastery, a sacred site in Bhutan, perched 3,000 feet above the Paro Valley. According to legend, Guru Padmasambhava, the man who brought Buddhism to Bhutan, flew to this cliff on the back of a flying tigress and meditated in a cave for 3 years. Since then, monks and pilgrims have followed, hiking treacherous mountain paths to reach this spiritual refuge. But online, you'll find it oddly absent. Satellite views are blurry, obstructed by mist. Roads aren't labeled. It's as if the clouds themselves conspire to keep it hidden. There are no highways, no cable cars, just a narrow dirt path that snakes through pine forests, over rickety bridges, and across windswept ledges. It takes hours to reach the monastery, and even then, it feels like you've crossed into another world. Prayer wheels spin in silence. Incense curls through mountain air. Time slows down. In Bhutan, this is not a tourist spot. It's a holy site, a place of quiet awe, hidden not by secrecy, but by reverence. The tiger's nest isn't hard to find because it's forbidden. It's hard to find because the world isn't meant to see it casually. This is one of those rare places where invisibility isn't censorship. It's protection, a hidden jewel, guarded by altitude and by silence. In central Turkey, beneath the sleepy plains of Cappadocia, lies a secret city, not hidden by mountains, but buried beneath your feet. It's called Derinkuyu, and it's not just a few rooms or a forgotten shelter. It's an entire world carved into stone. Derinkuyu stretches 18 stories underground. It once held thousands of people, homes and stables, schools, even churches, all carved out of volcanic rock, completely concealed from the surface. There are wells that run deep as skyscrapers, air shafts that brought in light and oxygen, and massive stone doors that could seal off tunnels in total silence. This was no crude hideout. This was survival, designed with precision. Who built it, and why? Historians believe early Christians used Derinkuyu to hide from persecution. But parts of it may be even older, far older, built by ancient civilizations we know almost nothing about. Some tunnels stretch for miles, connecting to other underground cities. It's as if entire populations disappeared from the surface and lived for generations in total darkness. You can walk through Derinkuyu today, but you'll never see all of it. Whole sections remain sealed off, too unstable, too sacred, or perhaps too strange. It's not visible from the sky, not listed on modern city grids. It was built to vanish, and somehow it still has. Derinkuyu isn't just a city underground. It's a question carved in stone. In the heart of Japan's remote Gifu prefecture, there's a village so quiet, so ancient, it looks like it drifted out of a forgotten century. Shirakawa-go, a place the modern world passed by and never came back for. Surrounded by steep mountains and heavy snowfall, this valley remained isolated for generations. Until the late 20th century, it wasn't even accessible by paved road. The houses here, with their massive, steeply slanted thatched roofs, were built to survive some of Japan's heaviest winters. Locals call the design Gasho Zukuri, meaning hands in prayer, because the rooftops resemble monks built in meditation. This isn't a tourist gimmick. These homes are centuries old. Many still house families who cook over open hearths and live by the same rhythms as their ancestors. Life here is deliberately slow. The people of Shirakawa-go have preserved more than architecture. They've preserved a way of being. The silence is sacred. The snow muffles everything. There are no glowing billboards here, no fast food chains, no train stations. When it snows, watching it does, for almost half the year, this place disappears into white silence. It becomes invisible from above, camouflaged in stillness. Shirakawa-go is not just hard to find on a map. It's hard to find in spirit, a true village of the past, untouched not by accident, but by devotion. In an age obsessed with progress, this hidden valley whispers something different. Not all places need to move forward. Some are sacred because they stand still. And those are the places Google Earth will never really understand. Imagine a village that floats, not on stilts, not on a raft, but on beds of living reeds, drifting quietly across the world's highest navigable lake. No addresses, no streets, no land, just water, sky, and the faint rustle of a handmade world. This is Uros, a community of floating islands on Lake Titicaca, Peru, built entirely by hand from the totora reed, which grows in the lake's shallows. Each island is anchored by nothing but roots. They rise and fall with the lake's moods. They drift ever so slightly, and they vanish from satellite view, often mistaken for vegetation or shadows. The Uros people began building these islands centuries ago. Some say to escape war. Others believe it was a choice to live between worlds, neither landbound nor lost. Every few weeks, more reeds are added, layered like straw on a giant mattress. The ground beneath their feet is soft, spongy, alive. Their homes, boats, even schools, all made from the same golden reed. It is shelter, it is fuel, it is everything. They navigate by boat from one floating community to another. Each family guards their little patch of drifting land with pride. From space, the Uros vanish. Even to the naked eye, they blur into the waterline. Too humble, too fluid to stand out. But hidden in plain sight, these floating islands tell a quiet story of resilience, reinvention, and choosing to remain untraceable. Here, life floats not just on water, but on legacy. Deep in Colombia's Sierra Nevada, cloaked in vines and guarded by spirits, lies a city that disappeared from the world and stayed lost for over 1,000 years. Even Google Earth can't quite trace its shape beneath the dense canopy. They call it Ciudad Perdida, the lost city. Built around 800 AD, 6 centuries before Machu Picchu, Tayuna was the spiritual and political heart of the Tairona people. It was a hidden mountain metropolis, complete with plazas, staircases, and homes carved into the hillside, all without mortar or modern tools. But then, it vanished. Whether due to Spanish conquest, disease, or something unknown, the jungle reclaimed the city, and for 1,200 years, no outsider even knew it existed. It wasn't until the 1970s that treasure hunters stumbled upon moss-covered steps rising out of the earth, 1,200 of them. Local indigenous groups had always known about Tayuna, but they never shared it. Not with outsiders, not with maps, and not with satellites. To this day, there are no roads, no airports, no digital scans. The only way to reach the Ciudad Perdida is on foot. 4 days through rivers, rainforest, and sacred land. To the indigenous Kogi and Wiwa peoples, this is not a ruin, it's still alive. A sacred site where their ancestors whisper through stone and leaf. And maybe that's why it remained invisible for so long. Not because it was forgotten, but because it was protected. This is Tayuna, a city that didn't vanish, it hid. In the high folds of the Himalayas, where the clouds move slower and the wind whispers in prayer, there's a village you won't find on most maps. No roads, no signs, just a name spoken by travelers who dared to go off the edge of the known world. Lama's Village. Perched thousands of feet above sea level, Lamas is a remote Buddhist village in Nepal's far western highlands. It's not a place you stumble into. It's a place that reveals itself only to those who seek it. Hidden behind rugged ridges and mist-soaked trails, this village is shielded by nature and preserved by isolation. With no digital footprint, no satellite markers, and no tourist trails, Lamas has become a living time capsule. Life here moves to the rhythm of ancient chants and seasonal winds. Villagers tend to terrace crops, herd yaks across frozen ridges, and gather at the monastery that overlooks the valley like a silent guardian. There are no engines here, no towers, only the sound of footsteps on stone and the soft clang of temple bells in the wind. The people of Lamas follow centuries-old traditions, passed down through quiet reverence rather than loud preservation. Maybe the reason Lamas stays hidden is because it was never meant to be found by everyone. Some places are protected not by borders, but by spirit. Not every destination needs an airport. Some are reached by silence, humility, and the willingness to vanish from the noise of the world. In Lamas, time doesn't just move slower, it listens. If you follow the winds north of Scotland, past where the ocean breathes in fog, you might catch a glimpse of it. A village balanced on the edge of the world, and for nearly a century, unreachable by road. This is Gassadalur, tucked into the cliffs of Vagar Island, part of the Faroe Islands, a remote archipelago in the North Atlantic. For decades, the village sat in complete isolation, surrounded by mountains so steep, not even horses could climb them easily. The only way in? A narrow, exhausting footpath, winding over a mountain pass that even locals dreaded. Mail was delivered by foot. Supplies were carried by hand. Some said the village was so hidden, it was slowly fading from the map. In 2004, everything changed. A tunnel was carved straight through the mountain, piercing the village's seclusion for the first time. It was as if Gasa Dalur had been sleeping, and the tunnel was a key that gently woke it up. But even with modern access, it hasn't been overrun. The population is still less than 30. Life here remains slow, quiet, unbothered. What makes Gasa Dalur truly unforgettable isn't its remoteness. It's how the land itself shields it. The village sits beside Mulafusur, a waterfall that seems to fall off the earth's edge, into nowhere. From sea level, the cliffs hide everything above. From space, cloud cover and mist obscure its details. You could fly right past and never know it's there. But for those who find it, Gasa Dalur feels like a secret whispered by the ocean and kept safe by the cliffs. At first glance, it looks like the mountain has been hollowed by time, riddled with shadows and scars. But as you get closer, the rocks begin to whisper. This is not a ruin. It's not even abandoned. It's a sanctuary, carved by human hands and hidden from history. Welcome to Varzia, a 12th century cave monastery carved deep into the volcanic cliffs of southern Georgia. Over 600 rooms, 13 levels, churches, libraries, wine cellars, and entire halls for meditation, all chiseled straight into the mountain. From a distance, it blends perfectly into the rock, but inside, it's a world unto itself. Built during the reign of Queen Tamar, Georgia's legendary monarch, it was meant to be a stronghold, a sacred city, and a spiritual haven. And for a while, it was. But in the late 1200s, a devastating earthquake struck. Half the city was lost, collapsed into the valley below. What remained was hidden, forgotten, until explorers and monks returned centuries later to rediscover its silent passages. Many say it was designed to be invisible, a monastery that could only be found by those truly seeking it. And even now, it keeps its secrets close. Varzia isn't just a place, it's a feeling of silence carved in stone, of faith hidden in the bones of a mountain. It's one of the last great wonders you'll never stumble upon, unless you know exactly where to look. A city within the cliff, still breathing, still waiting. There's an Italy most travelers never see, a secret side tucked far away from the Colosseum crowds and Amalfi glamour. Here in the north, at the edge of the Alps, lies a village so serene it almost feels imagined. This is Algund, or Lagundo, as it's called in the local dialect, a hidden gem in South Tyrol. Nestled between mountain walls and sweeping valleys, it's a crossroads of Italian soul and Austrian precision. Here, German and Italian are spoken side by side. Church bells echo through the vineyards, and time moves slower, not because it has to, but because it's allowed. Tourists rush past on their way to Bolzano or the Dolomites, but Algund remains untouched, protected by geography and silence. There are no major highways, no cruise bus parking lots, just winding forest trails, monastery gardens, and a local way of life that's quietly endured for centuries. It's almost impossible to capture its heart on satellite maps. The real beauty is in the texture, the hand-painted signs, the untouched apple groves, the ancient trails once used by monks. And that's what makes it invisible to the modern world and unforgettable to those who find it. In the middle of Mongolia's boundless Gobi Desert, there rises a ghostly city of stone. But this isn't a city built by hands. It's one carved by time, wind, and silence. They call it Tsagaan Suvarga, the White Stupa, a name whispered by nomads and hidden from maps. Stretching for 400 meters, the cliffs tower like ancient ruins. Weathered by millions of years of erosion, they resemble crumbling temples and sun-bleached palaces, but there are no inscriptions, no walls, no roads leading in. From the ground, it looks like a forgotten city. From the sky, it disappears into the desert, camouflaged by dust, shadow, and endless space. Here, nothing moves, nothing grows, but the silence speaks volumes. To the local Mongols, Tsagaan Suvarga is more than rock. It's sacred. Shamans once came here to listen to the wind echo through the cliffs, believing it carried messages from the spirit world. Legends say the cliffs shift form with the seasons. Some claim they've seen shapes change. Entire passages appear, then vanish. But try to photograph it, and nothing looks different. It's a place meant to be experienced, not captured. Google Earth barely registers Tsagaan Suvarga. From above, it looks like a faint scar on the land. No labels, no signs. But for those who find it, it feels like discovering the ruins of a vanished world. A reminder that some of Earth's most powerful places were never meant to be found easily. In a land of glowing mesas and whispering winds, lies a village older than the United States itself. It doesn't appear on Google Street View. There are no modern structures, no glowing signs, just earth, water, and spirit. This is Taos Pueblo, a living community built over 1,000 years ago by the Tiwa people, and it hasn't changed much since. These thick adobe homes, stacked like ancient honeycombs, were molded from straw and clay by hand, and still are. There's no electricity here, no running water, and no permission for outsiders to photograph certain areas. Much of this village is considered sacred. It's one of the oldest continuously inhabited places in North America, and still inhabited by direct descendants of the original builders. The walls of Taos Pueblo aren't just walls, they're storytellers. They've seen the rise and fall of empires, Spanish colonization, American expansion, and they're still standing. The people here speak Tiwa. They live by the rhythms of the land. Their festivals and spiritual practices are closed to cameras, not out of secrecy, but out of respect. Even though it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Taos Pueblo isn't a tourist attraction, it's a heartbeat, quiet, steady, and proud. In a world that rushes forward, Taos Pueblo stands still, not frozen, but rooted. You won't find it from the sky. You won't scroll past it on your phone. And maybe that's exactly how it was meant to be. Some places hide, not to be forgotten, but to be protected. Across continents and centuries, the world has quietly guarded its secrets. Villages untouched by time, islands you'll never find on tourist maps, temples carved into clouds and caves alike. What they all have in common? They were never built to be seen by everyone, and maybe that's what makes them beautiful. In a time when every corner of the planet feels scanned, mapped, and posted, places like these remind us mystery still exists, but only if you know where to look. If you believe some places are meant to be discovered, not just visited, you're in the right place. Subscribe to The Hidden Planet for more journeys into the unseen, the untouched, and the unbelievable. And let us know in the comments, which place in this video would you visit if you could find it? There's more out there, much more. We'll see you in the next one.